plaintiff, Tylen Sibley, watched his mom struggle to provide for him as a child. So after high school, he went to trade school for carpentry. Tylen says his great aunt, the defendant, hired him to paint her home, but she failed to pay him, so he's suing. Defendant Belinda Harper watched her mom get killed by her boyfriend when she was 14. And from that point on, she was on her own. Belinda insists Tylen didn't complete the paint job, so she doesn't owe, and she's countersuing for a refund.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Hello, Your Honor. I'm Tylen. I'm from Akron, Ohio. I grew up. I watched my mom struggle to provide for us. I really don't have a background, but
you don't?
No,
you
not really.
Finished school?
Oh yeah. So I went to St. Vincent St. Mary High School. I graduated 20.
Where?
St. Vincent St. Mary High School.
Isn't that where LeBron James went?
Yes, sir.
Did he ever come back during that time? I know he comes back to that school.
I saw him maybe once, I think.
Yeah, well, there you have it. All right, good. Go ahead.
During high school, I took up a vocation of carpentry.
Carpentry?
Yep. And then after high school, I went to go work construction before I decided to go by myself.
Well, they pay well, carpenter. So, in fact, I recommend that to young people if you feel like you want to work with your hands or that's where your skill level is. All right, so good. Then what did you do from there? Are you still doing that?
Yes, I'm still doing that.
All right. And let me hear from you. Give me some background.
Hi, Judge Mathis. My name is Belinda Harper, and I had the pleasure of meeting you about 10 or 11 years ago.
Where?
Here.
Oh, okay.
I had a case here.
You were being sued again?
No, I was suing.
Okay, you just like court.
Mm-hmm.
You know you can just watch it.
No, today I'm
you had to put
kind
yourself
of
in a position to see.
upset because this is my great nephew, who I love very much, and I'm hurt. But I have a little bit of background. 14, I watched my mom get killed by her boyfriend. I was on my own when I was 14. 16, I had my first. I took in 22 kids during the year because I didn't want them to go through what I went through at age 16, trying to make it.
They lived within your home?
Yes.
22 children? How many bedrooms did you have?
4, and 2 bathrooms. Well, Tylen's mom was one of the ones that I did take in. At age 16, you don't know where to go.
Out of the 22, how did they do in life?
One got killed.
Sorry to hear that.
The rest of them, yeah. My son, one of my sons, I gotta pray on him.
Everybody finished high school at least?
Yes, everybody finished high school.
Okay, were they able to prepare themselves for a career?
Yes, they went to college. A whole lot of them went to college. I have two sons that own their own business.
Good, and you did
3
it by
sons,
yourself?
I'm sorry.
You did it by yourself?
I had an abusive ex, and I left him when I was 20. Okay. And then the rest of it.
How did you get all 22 at one time? Is that what happened, you said?
It was almost at one time I did have 22. But
where were you getting them from?
Half of them, their mom, like the one guy, his mom died when he was 12. And what happened was I heard something upstairs in my upstairs. And I called the police and ran outside, and here was a little boy that my kids had hid in their closet that his mom had passed. So then I had got in one part, I was a parent. The other part, I was running the streets, getting in trouble, and doing everything I could do to maintain for all my kids because I didn't want them out there like I was. I ultimately ended up in trouble where the judge that sentenced me, I wouldn't volunteer for her. Juvenile hall, went back into prisons, and I went into juvenile court. Juvenile court is my passion because, like I said, when the way I was emancipated when I was 16. I was in trouble. I didn't care about nothing or nobody except for my kids and my family.
Okay. Let me allow him to get to the lawsuit. What are you suing for today?
$1,500.
What happened?
So in May of 2021, my aunt Belinda gave me a call and she wanted me to paint her home. So I told her I was a little bit backed up, so I will get back in touch with her. Well, my aunt didn't wait it until July for me to get back in touch with her. So when I got back in touch with her, she gave me a key to her home, and I went inside her home and I looked it over it, and I saw everything that needed to be done, and I told my aunt it would be $1,600. So I get to her home, we're discussing, I'm typing up the contract, and we're discussing prices, and she says, I don't want the underneath part of the cabinets painted because that's where the backsplash will be applied at. So I took off $100, and we agreed to just paint each wall inside the home. So I did that in the middle
What
of
is
my
your agreement? That's the most important thing here today.
On page 1 is the contract.
Page 1 is the agreement.
I had the pleasure of meeting you about 10 or 11 years ago.
Where?
Here.
Oh, okay.
I had a case here.
You were being sued again?
No, I was suing.
Okay, you just like court. You know, you can just watch it.
Defendant Belinda Harper is being sued by her great-nephew, who claims after he painted her home, she refused to pay him and threatened to call the police on him.
And what happened?
I did everything that I agreed to do.
Everything on this contract?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm going to ask her shortly, but go ahead.
Okay, I did everything on that contract that we agreed to do. I got to her home, and she stated that she would need the contract. So I drove all the way back home to go get this contract. But before I left, my aunt had let me know that she was happy with everything. She didn't have not one problem.
That's incorrect. That is incorrect.
Okay, I'll let you tell me shortly.
So
You brought the contract back?
I brought the contract back. I was approached by her husband in the driveway. He was very aggressive, and he said, "You mean to tell me you charged my wife $2,500 for this?"
Okay.
I said, "Excuse me, sir. I only charged my aunt $1,500." And I told him I charged her $1,600, and I took off $100 because of the back where the backsplash was applied that I didn't paint. So he said, "Oh, I'm sorry." Then he starts to become apologetic. So I go inside the house and I give my aunt the contract. My aunt then says, "Ty, I don't have a problem with anything besides the square footage." So I said, "Boo, you have a problem with the square footage?" So she said, "Yeah." So I called my mom on the phone. She's also my manager. Call my mom on the phone, and she says, my mom basically explains to her that the square footage is still the same. So she says, "No, it's not." She then becomes disrespectful. My mom was called out of her name. My business was disrespected by her husband. He said I didn't do anything but slap paint on the doors and the walls. Your Honor, I put on 2 smart security locks for one was a smart one and the other one was just a regular door lock for my aunt for no charge, no cost. Her front door, I painted for no charge, no cost, because we discussed doing the front door after.
Your Honor, this is incorrect. Ty, I don't understand why you lying like that.
Let me hear from you.
Okay, that's incorrect. There were holes in my door. There were
In your door?
Yes, sir.
How did that happen to your knowledge?
I asked Thailand, and he told me that that's the way he put the lock on, but that's incorrect.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
My husband, the reason why he asked Ty is because my husband owns a construction company, and he asked me to let his construction people do my painting, and I said absolutely not. He's good boy that I know of, and if he's trying to do the next right thing, I'm gonna help him.
Okay.
So it was a lot of money, but if he's trying to do a good thing and not be in the streets, that's what I'm going to do.
Good.
So the receptacles aren't put back. He took them off and they weren't put back.
Okay.
Some of my other paint, like the woodwork on the paint, he painted the woodwork.
Okay. And that wasn't part of the wall, obviously.
Yes.
Painted the woodwork, and you didn't want that painted. What else did he do wrong?
On the floor, there's all kind of paint on my
Left paint on the floor. What else?
And that's about it.
Okay. Sir, what do you say to that?
Your Honor, my aunt put me out of her home. She told me I must get out or she must call the police.
Why?
When I told you when I called my mom on the phone, my mom had asked my aunt to have her husband not say anything to me. If she has a problem, please say something. My aunt never said something, but Mr. Harper kept going on, and then my mom was like,
"That's incorrect, Ty. That's incorrect."
Go ahead.
I was then going to go put on the outlet covers. I tried to put them all back on before she put me out. She literally, her exact words was, "You must get out of my home before I call the police." No outlet.
Why?
I have no.
You never asked?
I never asked.
When she said, "I'm going to call the police on you," you didn't think to ask why? If a person tells me they're going to call the police on me, I'm going to ask them why. Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I think the average reasonable person would. Go ahead, but you didn't. "I'm going to call the police on you." Okay. Go ahead. Then what happened?
Okay, so then I cleaned up, but I also asked my aunt if she had a problem to let me know. You know, she never let me know about any paint on the ground. She didn't let me know about any of that stuff. And then the front of the door, as she mentioned, the door coming in, she said that wasn't
all I was
painted.
asking you, I just needed to know if you failed to make these repairs the damage that you caused, and if not, why. And your response is, when you were attempting to make the repairs, she told you she would call the police on you.
Correct.
And put you out. So that's all. That's your defense to not repairing. So I'll go to her. When you mention these things to him, he said that he was trying to make the repairs, and you threatened to call the police, and today he has no understanding of why you would call the police on him. Why don't you tell me why you told him you were going to call the police?
I told you I was going to call the police on you,
Go ahead.
Ty, because when you and your mom was disrespecting me and my husband, and I asked you to stop and I asked you to hang up the phone so you and I could go over what was wrong, and you continue to cuss me and my husband, and you continue with your mom on the phone. And when your mom asked for your location, I said, "If you guys come out here, I will call the police." That's what I said.
Okay, so you remember very thoroughly,
Yes.
very detailed, very
Yes.
concise. Okay, he has no recollection.
You continue to cuss me and my husband, and when your mom asked for your location, I said, "If you guys come out here, I will call the police." That's what I said.
Okay, so you remember very thoroughly,
Yes.
very detailed, very
Yes.
concise. Okay, he has no recollection.
Defendant Belinda Harper is being sued by her great-nephew, who claims after he painted her home, she refused to pay him and threatened to call the police on him.
What else you want me to know about the payment?
On page 24 and 25,
Because he's saying you didn't pay him. And you're saying it's because he didn't complete the job.
well, the payment I had gave him $800 up front before I even picked up the paint. The rest of the money I was supposed to give him after he gave me a copy of my receipt, which I kept on asking for a printout. And that's when he said he had lost his laptop and he had to redo it.
Okay.
I also have pictures, if you would like to see them, please.
Yes, what page?
28. 28 is two different colors on the wall.
You mean like shades?
Yes,
One part is darker than the other?
yes.
The part near the light switch is darker than the middle? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, it appears to be. All right.
Your
And when
Honor.
you mentioned that to him, what'd he say?
I was trying to go around and explain to him when he started cussing. He called his mom. They start cussing me out. My pastor said, "Let it go."
You called your pastor?
Yeah, after it happened, I sure did.
After it happened. I'm not talking
Yeah.
about after. I'm
No,
talking
after
about
I
doing.
ha-
You said he told you to let it go. I
Yeah.
thought you meant while it was
No,
happening.
no.
Or afterwards.
Yeah.
He told you to let it go because you had told him you were going to send your husband on him.
No.
But let it go. Why did he have to tell you? Let what go? Let what go?
I explained everything to him. I told him I had wrote him a check, and that I felt like I needed to stop payment on it. And my pastor told me to let it go.
Okay, so don't stop payment on it.
Yeah, but I did.
So you didn't agree with your pastor?
No, I didn't.
Why would you tell me that your pastor told you something and you don't believe in your pastor?
Dude, he usually steers
You're
me
gonna have
right.
people leave the church.
My pastor usually steers me 100%.
Right, and he probably was, but you went against him. Now the members are gonna walk out. I can see them
No, they're
walking
not.
out now.
No, they're not. We have an excellent church.
He did Mrs. Harper
have an excellent
wrong.
church.
Y'all heard about what happened? And Miss Harper called him to ask her about this young man who had messed up her house, and he told her to just let it go. Let the young man run off with her money. He told her that. Yes, he did, girl. Yes, he told her that. Oh, well, I ain't staying here. If the pastor ain't gonna look out for me, I'm not gonna stay here if he ain't got no better sense than that. So they walking out right now, ma'am.
No, they're not.
Oh, because we didn't say the name of the church. You're right. We didn't say the name of the church. But they know you.
Right.
So when they see this, they walking out.
No,
Girl, let's go.
Girl, let's get out of here. You heard what he did to Miss Harper. Sister Harper, you on the usher board?
I sure am.
See there? You on the usher board too. Oh no, it's over for that church.
And when
It's over as loyal as you been. On the usher board.
And when
Probably with an all-white church lady in the front first 2 rows?
No.
You don't do it? Okay.
No.
I think it got to be about 80 to do that.
No. We have,
Sorry, ladies, you might not have to be. They just happen to be up in age, most of them on the first 2 rows. So forgive me, church ladies, if there is no age requirement.
sure
but
I
I just
show
thought
my
it might
pastor
be
this.
because the majority of the church ladies with the all white on are in the first 2 rows, and the average age is 80.
No.
Maybe not 80. Why you stop laughing? Don't be laughing at church ladies. Now you really got to get struck by lightning. Don't you play with these church ladies. Back up. They don't get me struck by lightning.
When you get a letter
we got off course.
When
but
you
I'm
get a
just
letter
trying to
from
let
my pastor.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to save your pastor.
No, because
He done messed up.
He stirred me right. But I have other pictures as well.
You know, I was going to have a ball with that, man.
My pastor-
Certain things people shouldn't say when they come
My
in.
pastor is a doctor.
All right, well, then you should have listened to him.
I know.
You don't like the school he went to or something? Now you're going to question the man's credentials. Now you're questioning his credentials.
Because you know what?
What's wrong with the school he went to?
It's not the school.
Well, you say he's a doctor. You say he has a doctorate, and that's why you didn't listen to him.
No, I didn't listen to him because I contacted other painters on my
You ain't like where he got his doctorate from. I know what you're saying.
on my
Who you
husband's
getting in trouble
company,
now they gonna lock you out.
which is number 47. Would you please look at that, please? I'm asking.
What's 047? What's 047, man?
47 is the painters that I contacted to ask them, was I wrong?
But they know you.
Right.
When they see this, they walk it out.
Girl, let's go.
Girl, let's get out of here. You heard what he did to Miss Harper. Sister Harper, you on the usher board?
I sure am.
See there? You on the usher board too.
Defendant Belinda Harper is being sued by her great-nephew, who claims after he painted her home, she refused to pay him and threatened to call the police on him.
The $700, why did you cancel it? Because if you cancel it, then you would owe him. Why did you cancel it?
I canceled him because he wouldn't get out of my house. He was cursing me and my husband out really, really bad, extremely bad. And I didn't want to call the police to give him a record like other
Other young black men. Go ahead and say
Okay,
it. We
that's
don't
what I
have
was
a
gonna
problem
say.
here talking race.
Okay, well, that's what
the
I was
problem
going to
with
say.
America. They scared
I don't
to
know
talk about
when,
race.
if I can stop them from going into the system like I did, I'm not going to do that. So if I could threaten him, give him a check,
To get him
and tell
out.
him get him out of my house instead of calling the police, because where I live at,
That's a good strategy. I know what you're about to tell me about the situation dealing with the justice system.
You
did right. That was a good way to handle it.
And they gonna hit him hard out there.
Right, no question about it. And so you were being nice.
Well, that's my nephew.
And so, young man, sounds like she's saying you wouldn't leave until she gave you something she didn't believe she owed you.
Just told you that.
Did you ever say you weren't going to leave? Why wouldn't you walk out?
I said, Auntie Boo, let me finish what I have started. I finished. I put the outlet covers back on, Your Honor.
I'm saying when they asked you to leave, why didn't you?
I had to finish doing what I had.
Oh, if somebody asks you, you don't have to do anything but get out of their house. What do you mean you had to finish something? The customer is saying, get out. What makes you think you can say, nope, I got to finish this job? That's what you're telling me?
No, well, Your Honor, that's just how I have to finish what I started. I was taught.
No, but somebody tells you to get out of their house. This sounds like to me they had to pay you to get out, just like she's saying. Otherwise, you weren't leaving. Otherwise, you were going to continue to verbally abuse them and perhaps provoke a fight in this grown man's house. And you in here cussing this man's wife out.
And him.
That's not true.
No.
That's not true, Your Honor. I have.
He's
You did
72.
right. Thank God you gave
what
me
he said. You know what he said?
What'd he say?
He said to him, he said, you so old, you can't even pick up a fork. That's what he said.
Tell him that.
That's what he
Your
said.
Honor, that's not true.
Tell the truth, Ty. Please tell the truth.
Okay. And you didn't leave because you wanted to stay. And so, like she said, she had to get you out. And they had to pay you $700. And you know what that is? Extortion, trespassing, a crime. Even though she didn't prosecute you, you can be prosecuted. You extorted her. And so she had to give you money to get you out. And when she told you to leave and you didn't, it turned into trespassing. Your claim is dismissed. Yours is granted. Have a good day.
I still love you. I want you to just do the right thing. Just do the right thing.
Wow.
It'll always come out in the wash. Just do
Auntie,
the right thing.
right hand on the Bible, I cursed at you.
Oh, you didn't, Ty?
I cursed at you. Out of my mouth, I cursed at you.
Did you
Okay.
and your mom was young?
You have to handle it with God, not me.
Okay. No problem.
Plaintiff Suzanne Castleman worked for the defendant, and she claims the defendant is a drug addict who passed out at work several times. Suzanne is suing her today for unpaid wages and defamation of character. Defendant Diana Boucher admits that she takes pills, but insists they're all prescribed by a doctor, and she takes them as directed. Diana is countersuing because she claims Suzanne stole property from her store.
Start with you.
Your Honor, I'm here today suing Diana. I met her in Shellnaw, Missouri, where she owns a flea market. I befriended her and we started talking. I shopped there regularly and eventually I ended up working there. So I found that Diana is not who she seems to be. She has a drug addiction problem of 20 years plus.
How did you find that out?
She told me herself. And she continues to take medications and pills, which interrupts her daily,
Do you
work.
think that's part of a drug addiction?
Oh, I believe it.
They're
is.
all prescribed drugs from a doctor.
Why are you shaking your
Well,
head?
because she takes whatever. That's what I believe, sir.
She told you that?
Well, yeah, she smokes pot and does all kinds of things.
What other kinds of things?
Pills. She takes
You
pills.
said that already. The other
She
kinds.
takes
Take
pain
anything that is
medication.
not
Hold
prescribed.
on, ma'am. Pardon.
Pain medications. I don't know if they're
That-
prescribed
those
or not,
are the
Your Honor.
pills, right?
But, yes, she abuses them, though.
You
'cause-
said everything else. That's what I'm trying
sorry.
to get
My
past
apologies.
that.
Yes, sir.
I asked you what else, and you said weed.
Okay.
And I am an advocate for marijuana over the use of alcohol or pills.
I agree.
And I never smoked it until I got a license for it.
There you go. I just want to keep you from mischaracterizing her use.
Yes, sir.
Now I'm listening to see if you're about to say heroin, cocaine,
I didn't know about any of that
crystal meth. And when you say everything, that's
Oh,
what
my
put me
apologies.
in the mind of that. And I needed to hear specifics because
Okay.
that's what others are going to say.
Okay.
Using everything she can get a hold of. Well, that's what that means. So
Well, I guess my point would be,
she
Your Honor.
might just smoke crack every now and then, right? You don't smoke all the time, do you?
No.
Just every now and then.
Yep, I still don't do
There
it
you
like
go.
they want me
Smoke
to
a
yet.
crack every now and then.
One-hit wonder.
A one-hit wonder. Yeah.
I crack that pot whenever they tell me to do it.
You mix crack with pot.
No, I smoke the pot. I crack open the pot.
Oh, okay. You see how I get confused about crack? People mention it.
I've never
you
done
said-
anything that does not have a license
You
with
said
it.
crack, and then you said your weed. So I thought you said, I put my crack in my weed.
No,
You said you crack your weed.
yes.
You see how I can get that
Yeah,
wrong?
I thought what you thought.
Yeah. All right.
No.
So we're going to clarify. We're going to be clear on everything today.
Yes, sir.
Because I thought that she said, and just like I thought you might have been saying something, it's not you all, it's me.
Defendant Diana Boucher is being sued by her former employee, who claims Diana is a drug addict, and as a result, she often passed out at work.
All right, go ahead. So,
Your Honor, I guess what I need to portray to you would be the fact that she abuses the drugs, whatever she does take.
And it
okay?
interferes with
Excessive.
her life.
Yes, sir. That was my point.
I'd just like to know how it can interfere in my life when it's prescribed by a doctor. I take it as prescribed.
No, she does not. That's a lie.
go ahead.
Your Honor, because she abuses medications, I worked for her multiple times. She called me and I had to go open the store because she's too high to get out of bed, okay? Then there's other times where, for instance, she was passed out at work. Two customers found her on the floor, tried to revive her, called
That you,
911.
ma'am?
Yes,
And
but it wasn't high.
What happened?
I've had a gastric bypass and I'm having trouble with it.
And that made you faint?
Yeah. I don't get enough protein, so I don't eat, because I can't eat very much.
Okay.
I've lost a lot of weight.
Go ahead.
Okay, Your Honor, so this is what I observed when I worked with her. And, coworker tells me that, because I was shocked that, they found her like this, and my coworker tells me she does this all the time. So, and I've seen her come into work
fall
high.
all the time at work and pass out at work? Often?
No.
Okay. Go ahead.
I've
Anyway.
successfully had the business for over a year, and
Has there been any discussion or advice about her getting treatment? Anybody recommended her?
Well, I didn't
or
work with her
said
that
to
long.
her, I think you need to go and get treatment. You
I
fall,
thought we
you
were friends. We went out and done things, so and we
what I'm
talked
saying.
about
That's what a
everything.
friend
I'm
would
not
do,
quite.
and that's
I
why I'm
still don't
asking.
understand how we
Well,
got.
I tried to help Diana in a lot of ways, and I didn't mention that because I don't know, I just didn't.
All right.
But, Your Honor, yes, we were friends, and until Diana turned on me and became, vindictive
How
towards me.
so?
Well, for instance, Your Honor, she steals. She steals from her vendors, okay, in the store. She actually stole from my.
I
things
do
out of the
not.
store, okay.
Did what?
She stole my product as well.
Okay.
And I found it hidden in a back room.
All right, what was it she stole?
Jewelry bottles
Jewelry.
bottles of
No,
jewelry.
a customer
Jewelry.
had picked up
At
one
the-
of her
from
bottles.
the flea
and-
market.
And,
Yes.
and the
All right.
customer took out, she wanted certain pieces, and I told her we couldn't sell it. It was set in a box. It was not hid. It was in a room. She found it. There was never
All
no
right, I'm gonna
hiding
let you
it.
talk now. Give me your background on your association.
I bought the flea market July of last year. I met her right around that time, and we clicked really quick. We both come from about the same areas, about the same age. We really got along really good, and she started working for me. I thought we were friends. My son had met her. A couple of my sons had, and my one son warned me. He said, "Mom, something about her just doesn't click. Please be careful." I did not follow his advice because I got along with her. There was just something about me and her together. I thought we were good. And then my accountant come over one day. She wanted to go and check the propane tanks. So we went out to check the propane tanks. And when we got to the propane tanks, I had two of them. In between, there was a trash bag. I looked at it. I thought, well, I said, wonder where that came from. I said, I just checked this whole yard yesterday. This wasn't here yesterday. So we picked it up. We brought it back into the building. We set the bag down and opened it up. Inside the bag was stolen goods. Stuff that had been in the storeroom that she had been cleaning out, and some of the vendors'
That's your
products.
counterclaim, is that she stole your property. Let's get to the wages and the defamation first, which is your claim. How does she
sir.
owe you for wages?
After her supposed firing of me, Your Honor, she wouldn't pay me my last wages. I tried to text her and I asked her numerous times. I have
What
evidence.
dates does she owe you for?
What dates she owes?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, she owes me from 4/15/2021 to the end of April. And then also, outside of that, I was doing some
So
housekeeping for her.
hold on, ma'am.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
60 hours, pretty much, Your Honor.
60?
60 hours at
Okay.
$10 an hour. It was supposed to
from
be.
April,
And I was paying her $8 an hour.
from April 15 to April 30th? you
Yes,
said?
sir. She didn't pay me for the last half of that month.
Defendant Diana Boucher is being sued by her former employee, who claims Diana is a drug addict, and as a result, she often passed out at work.
And when you ask, what has she said?
I couldn't ask her because after this alleged
You've never spoken with her?
firing, no, I haven't spoke to her since.
Okay, about the payment. So she doesn't even know that
no,
you want
excuse
your
me, Your
money.
Honor. I apologize. I do have text reflecting that where I texted her multiple times about this
And
last
we had
half.
a meeting.
And what did she say? That's why I was
She never
asking.
responded. She said she lost her phone and
Okay.
she just quit talking to me.
You have those texts that
I
you
do.
want to direct to me? Where's page?
Yes. It would be page 2 to 7.
So on page 2, I see an invoice. And you said you had text. Okay. You say she didn't respond at all, though.
No, she did not.
Never responded to the text.
No. As a matter of fact, she said she lost her phone. And then I go to find out that when I went in and talked to her about it, she said, I'm glad they found my phone yesterday, when in fact that the day before when I looked on my phone to see if she had read any of my texts, it did say read on a Saturday, and this was on a Sunday.
What day were these texts in? I can't tell.
Well, those would have
Where
been,
you were asking about your payment.
probably a week or so before. This is over the period of time that I worked there. I was asking her, when are you going to pay me for the end of April? Okay, because she just forgot. And I didn't even...
When did you stop working for her?
5/3.
And she had not paid you for April?
No, sir. And after May 3rd
So
is when
are
I started
these
texting her.
text messages after May 3rd?
Yes, they are, sir.
All right. And she never answered.
That's right.
So how does she usually pay you? Every 2 weeks?
No, every 30 days.
Okay. And that's why you were asking about April. All right. And she never responded to any of these.
No.
Ma'am, you want to address this?
The night before all this had come to this head, we had a staff meeting. And one of the things we talked about in the staff meeting, I'm not a texter. Not even gonna lie. Most times, I don't even read them.
So what do you do when people tell you you owe them money by text? What do you do to respond? I know you might not be. Hold on, ma'am. Hold on, ma'am, because this sounds like it's nonsense. Yeah, that's your defense. I'm not a texter. This woman sent you 2 texts saying you owe me wages, you owe me money, and your defense today is I'm not a texter. Did you get the text or not?
Well, I finally did, but if you will let me finish
You did? The
explaining.
answer is yes?
But I do not...
Is the answer yes?
Yes, I
All
received the
right.
text.
So you did get the text. So whether you're a texter or not, you got the text. And what did you do after receiving the text where she said you owe me money for work? How did you respond to a woman who had worked for you? After she stopped working for you, she sent texts, and you read those texts that said you owe me money. How did you respond?
I tried to call her twice,
And what happened when you called?
and I got no response.
Did it go to voicemail?
One of them did. The second time
What
it
did
didn't.
you say on the
She never called.
voicemail?
This is
Hold
Diana,
on,
please.
ma'am. Pardon?
Please, I said, this is Diana. Could you please return my call?
Okay, and you never got any of those, obviously, because you're the one that's owed money.
Yes, sir.
So certainly you would respond to a person that owes you money and has called you twice.
And her last paycheck came back wrong address. It was the address that was on file.
Okay, so
So
you
we-
paid her everything you owed her for the month of April, and it came back.
Yes, by
Okay, you
our
have
records.
evidence of that? If
I
it
did-
came back, you have it.
Well, we remailed it. I went and got it.
And what
at
happened
Chris
there?
Edwards.
Did it come back again?
The check was cash. It went through my bank.
And you sent it to the same address?
No, I put it. We changed the address
Where
on
did
it.
you get the new address from?
I went by our house and got it.
Okay, so the first time, where did you get it from?
The first time was off her paperwork.
And how had you been paying her in the past? In hand, by hand?
Their checks are put into their files,
Uh-huh.
And
How do they get the checks, though?
They come in and they're handed to them.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. And in this instance, after she left, you sent it to an address that was on her paperwork and then went over to the house. Ma'am, does she know where you live? Has she visited you before?
Yes, but that story's
All right, and she did say she ultimately paid you, right?
Yes, I paid her.
Well, that's all you had to say. Why are we going through all this when all you had to do is say, Your Honor, I did pay her? How did you pay her?
By check.
You have evidence?
I don't have it with me. It's with my accountant.
It's with your accountant. Did
Yes.
you know you were coming here today regarding payment to her?
She knew that I was being sued. No one knew that I was
Did
coming.
you know you were being sued for not paying her, but yet your accountant had a check or has the information?
The accountant was supposed to get it to me, but she's been ill too, so she did not get it to me.
Okay, so your accountant didn't get it to you in
Yes.
time before court because your accountant is ill.
Yes.
All right.
Defendant Diana Boucher is being sued by her former employee, who claims Diana is a drug addict, and as a result, she often passed out at work.
What do you have?
I have evidence of that check.
What page is it?
That would be number 15, sir.
So did she pay you or not?
No, she paid me partial payment. She still owes me off that past last
How
payment.
much was the partial payment? And-
$448.
All right. How much did you owe her, ma'am? Do you know?
The check was for, I think,
Did you
her
pay her for the month of April?
No.
Yes, I did.
When?
Let's
That's the
see,
check you're
April,
talking about?
we go from the 1st through the 30th of the month.
I know that's what a month of
And the
April
check-
means.
And we hand out checks on the 10th.
I know all
So that
of
would have
that.
been May 10th that she would have got a check.
What's the defamation for?
Defamation is for this wrongful termination that she talks about.
Tell me
she,
what
she
happened.
told after she supposedly found this bag of stuff, then my lien holder from my home, he has a booth in her flea market, okay? And so
one of the items
what
in the
she
bag-
did,
Quiet,
That's her number
please,
on it.
ma'am.
well, when he came in there, she told this whole big lie story to him, and he ends up
Was it worse than the one she's told me?
Well, it was,
Go ahead.
you know, Your Honor, it gets better than that because it's just that's who she is. So
Honor, if you
she
look on
tells
page
him-
1.
Please let her finish.
She tells him this story, and right away he texts me, and he tells me, it's a terrible thing to be labeled a thief in a small town, and all this stuff. And he's just going on, and I'm trying to explain to him what the hell's going on. She's lying, I'm not doing any of that stuff, and he doesn't want to hear it. So she defamed my character. I don't even know to probably a multitude of people. This is a very small
I have not talked to
town.
anyone about this.
This is a very small
Do you have
town.
any evidence that she caused damage to your reputation? That's what is the primary requirement, is that
Well-
she says something intentionally that she knows was false and that it damaged your reputation.
Well, sir, I don't have anything. I couldn't get the other
I don't know how
text.
she can have proof when
Your Honor,
one
I
of the
couldn't get
things
the
in the
text
bag has
from-
this vendor's
And
number
so
on
you
it.
don't have anything
I have
like
partial- I have a text that-
statement, a letter, a text from a friend
No,
saying she told me that you were
No,
such
I do
and
not.
such?
I had a text where he's texting me and telling me what I just told you. Okay, and I thought
Mm-hmm. Have that?
I don't have that
Okay.
because it says the sheriff's department with
Okay.
the rest of this case, sir. Excuse me.
All right, without proof, you can't, unless she gives me something that sounds like an admission. Tell me, do you know of anything? Did you say something to people about her stealing
did.
something?
No, the only thing that has ever been discussed was when the vendor come in and his was part of the stuff that was found in the sack.
Of course, that's a lie, Your Honor.
Your claim is dismissed, ma'am. You don't sound like you're prepared today or that you're being
I'm sorry
honest
that
with
you
me.
feel that way.
You're always talking over me. Your claim is dismissed, and I'll grant yours for $600 your pay,
you,
not
sir.
the defamation.
Thank you,
Have a
sir.
good day.
Thank you.